Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, dear friends, it's my pleasure to welcome you to BAC, Basis voor Actuele Kunst here in Utrecht, on this special twofold occasion. The presentation of the AICA Award 2004-2006 to BAC, and a lecture by Irit Rogoff, Professor of Visual Cultures at Goldsmiths College, University of London, entitled Taking Part. We are very proud that the members of the Dutch section of the International Association of Art Critics have chosen to give the AICA Award for 2004 to 2006 to BAC. And I would like to take this opportunity to briefly mention some aspects of our work, especially at this point in time, as just 3 days ago we submitted an application for a new 4-year period of financing within the Dutch Cultuurcombinat. And like most of the art institutions in the Netherlands, we have been busy articulating what is it that we stand for and what is it that moves us forward. Yet before doing so, I would like to express my admiration for and support of the other 5 institutions that were singled out, selected as award nominees by AICA for their outstanding work. Stedelijk Museum Schiedam, an Amsterdam-based public space with a roof, Stedelijk Museumbureau Amsterdam, Stichting Kunst en Openbare Ruimtes voor, and Kunst en Bedrijf. I think this award is a little bit your award too, so congratulations. But to return to BAC. BAC opened on 17 May 2003, just over 4 years ago, as the result of the conceptual and practical transformation of its predecessor, the artist initiative Begane Grond. And I'm glad that the Romans are here, one of those who initiated the artist initiative is here, sitting in the audience. 3 years prior to that, in 2000, the organization appointed me as artistic director and Arjan van Meijel as executive director, with the ambition to infuse its activities with new energy and vision. From then on, the institution undertook the task of rethinking itself and embarked on a process of reorientation in search for new energy and in search for an ideal of contemporary art institute in this day and age. BAC could be said to be an embodiment of such a trajectory of continuous questioning of the conditions and parameters for a space dedicated to art, and as such, an experimental response to a number of questions that mark this day here. Why call a new institution to life, and specifically in the Netherlands, with its field of art oversaturated with institutions? How can one conceive of an art institution that recognizes the profound international, global even, condition in which we work, and at the same time deals with the issues that appeal to and are relevant for the people in Utrecht and in the Netherlands? How can one activate the potential of the city of Utrecht vis-à-vis culture plays such as Amsterdam and Rotterdam, not to mention Berlin, Istanbul or Hong Kong? How can an art institution operate beyond the capitalist imperatives of the culture industry, entertainment, spectacle, and quantitative visitorship today? How can we imagine an institution that would not be just an empty vessel waiting to be filled with unrelated exhibitions and objects, but rather a body that seriously engages in thinking together with artists and culture producers, and which speaks only when it has something to say? Can artistic practice and the discourse around it be recognized as equals and dealt with as such? How might we articulate the notion of art institutions' power into one of responsibility? What are the possibilities at our disposal for responding to the urgencies of our time? In short, what is to be done? BAC is in fact our answer to these questions, exemplified by practices of participation, discursivity, production, flexibility, fluidity, and criticality. Envisioned not as a number of strictly defined contents or projects, but rather as a way of acting and thinking, as the discovery or realization of something pre-given, but a process and a development, a continuous activation of the possibility of art. In this search, Bach has become a basis, a base, an understructure, a constituent, a fundamental support, and a foundation on which artistic practice and discourse activities can rest and develop further. Through its activities, Bach proposes the understanding of art in its expanded sense, envisioned beyond the traditional art sphere based on the Enlightenment ideas of display of knowledge, power, spectatorship, and the bourgeois public, and thus as a uniquely open field of possibilities inside society, in which imaginative speculation, experimentation, and the articulation of alternatives, proposals, and models of what might be takes place, and as a field in which various discourses, aesthetic, culture, political, social, economic, and other, intersect and exchange. If I had to search for words to define what Bach is, I would probably want to think of it as a space dedicated to thinking from, about, and through art. Given this, Bach invests itself in the exploration and empowerment of two vital relationships: the link between art and the public sphere on one hand, and the alliance between artistic practice and theory. In this respect, Bach initiates research on diverse subjects of urgency both in art and society, and together with artists and other culture practitioners, realizes projects such as exhibitions, lectures, education, and publications, but mostly long-term, multifaceted projects, including all these options. There is so much more I would like to say about what Bach is, what Bach has become, but I will not, as we all actually want to listen to Irit's lecture this afternoon. I'll just mention that in case you are interested, you're very welcome to read Bach's policy plan. I told you it's the time of the year, titled Space for Art and Thinking, that will soon appear on our website. Yet there is something I find of truly critical importance to mention. If Bach, in its brief history, realized outspoken range of projects, contributed significantly to the discourse about and through art, and achieved large recognition on numerous levels, and the prize of AICA we're about to receive hopefully proves this as well, it is only thanks to the strenuous efforts of a few committed individuals, both within and outside of the organization of Bach, dedicating themselves to this work beyond the call of duty, testing the boundaries of what is possible, and doing all of this in uncertain conditions. Despite the occasion of being awarded a prize today, at this moment Bach finds itself at a crossroads, and it only has a chance to survive and hopefully develop further towards exciting new possibilities if the conditions under which we work improve. Bach's existence has so far been an existence in precarity, given limited financial and other means, an existence without predictability or security, affecting, as a matter of fact, all facets of its welfare. In order to achieve a realistic situation in which Bach can move forward, its subsidy needs to significantly increase. Bach would then be capable to undertake a trajectory of intelligent growth, grows not in size of exhibition space, not in the number of its activities, but in depth and concentration. For it is only if we manage to overcome the asymmetry between the quality and intensity of our activities on one hand, and the circumstances within which we labor on the other, in my opinion and belief, will Bach have the chance to meaningfully move towards its future. Bach's short history has certainly taught me that a powerful vision and a great team are not all that are required for doing significant work. Institutions like Bach also need a political constellation open for new ideas and possibilities. I admit, we have had luck in this respect and encountered openness in the city of Utrecht and on the national level, as well as at numerous foundations, and in most cases, in all cases, amongst colleague institutions, for which we're grateful. but also truly hopeful that this generosity, but mainly the recognition of the possibility to take part in our ambition, will continue. While most of the time I speak on BAC's behalf, I want to take this opportunity to acknowledge the people who are responsible for much of the real work behind our project. I want to stress their role and contribution to what BAC has become and what it strives to become further. Namely, I'd like to thank Ariane van Meeuwen, Executive Director, Bina Choi, Curator at BAC, Curator of Publication Jill Winder, sitting also here, Susanne Timmersma, Project Coordinator, and Franka Vasa, who's an Office Manager here, as well as all the people, and many of them sit here, that have worked with BAC since its inception. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank BAC's board, as I have to say that they have been courageous in supporting what sometimes or always seemed impossible. I'd like to thank Chairwoman Annelies van der Horst, as well as Dirk-Jan Blickendal, Tom van Gestel, and Alex de Vries. Finally, I'd like to express my thanks to all of you, express my appreciation to the many supporters of BAC in attendance today who have come to share this afternoon with us. I can see people from the Mondrian Foundation, from the Utrecht University, from the institution called Vrede van Utrecht, also other colleague institutions such as Casco, the Apple, Witte de Wit. It's difficult to identify the crowd so quickly. The pavilions as well, and many others. But I also see, and one of the most important things that I want to say towards the end of this brief address, many of the artists and cultural practitioners we had the privilege to work with. And I would like to thank for that, and I would namely like to thank Arnold Meek, who sits there, who made specifically last year for us so memorable. Thank you again, and with this I would like to offer the floor to Janneke Wesseling, who's the president of the Dutch section of AICA.